Hi, so I want to demonstrate here a strategy that I've been using on how to win in NFL online sports betting. And this has allowed me to grow my account from $150 to $700 in less than 2 years, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I actually don't bet all that much. But more importantly, I want to show you how to hedge and minimize your losses here. So the way I'm going to demonstrate this is with the upcoming 2017 Super Bowl 51 winner. So you'll notice here I have 15 teams picked out. So I'm going to bet on 15 teams here to win the Super Bowl 51. And you might be wondering why I'm doing that. So first I'm going to go over just in my mind the strategy that I'm using. So in the 15 teams I've picked, or in actually all the 32 teams that are here, I have basically a couple of categories in my head. The first category is the teams that I actually think will win. So the teams that I actually think will win is either New England, Green Bay, Seattle, or Pittsburgh. And then there are teams that I actually think might win but probably won't, which is Carolina, Arizona, Minnesota, Denver, Dallas, the Giants, Colts, and the Ravens. And then there are ones that I'm just betting because the odds are very good and the placement of the bet is low, but the win amount is very high. And then there are teams that there's just no way they're gonna win, and if they win, it's just bad luck, and I'm just gonna lose. So, given the four categories that I have, what I am gonna do is I set a target amount that I want to win maximum. So for the four teams that I've picked as winners, or the highest probability to win, I want to target my highest amount that I'm going to win to be $300. So by doing that, I will be betting a certain amount on the four teams that I think will win that will be equal to the $300. So for New England here, I bet $50. For Green Bay here, it's $35 based on the odds of plus 850. And for Seattle, I bet $30 to win $300. And finally, for Pittsburgh, I bet $25 to win $300. So those are the four teams I think will win. And you'll notice approximately I've bet $140 on the four teams that I think will win. So I've bet $140 basically to win $300 here. Now, the rest of the teams, the other 11 teams out of the 15 that I'm placing bets on, I'm really hedging my losses here. So what I'm trying to do is minimize my losses with the other 11 teams that I've betted on. And my reasoning behind it is any team with a half decent quarterback and with a history of winning and getting into the playoffs, I am going to bet. And you might have a different strategy that you're going to use, but the way I'm going to minimize my losses here is actually to bet those teams that I actually don't think will win, but if they do win, it will cover my losses. So for example, with Carolina, I don't actually think they're going to win. So what I'm going to do is I set a target for myself that at the bare minimum, if my four teams that I picked don't actually win, the other teams that I picked, the other 11 teams, will cover the $200 that I am going to bet in total for all of these 15 bets. And it'll become a little bit more apparent, and you'll be able to see where I'm getting at when I go down to the total that I'm betting. So as an example, with Carolina, I want to bet around covering the $200. So in order to do that, I have to bet $16.50 to get around the 200. Same with Arizona and Minnesota here. You'll notice I just have to bet $12 to win $200. So at the bare minimum, out of the 11 remaining teams that I'm betting on, I will win $200. And you'll notice for Denver Bronco, if I bet $11, I win $198, and so on and so forth. New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, Indianapolis Colts, Baltimore. So Baltimore here, I only have to bet $6 to win around $200. Now, the other teams, you'll notice the other teams has an odd here. The bottom teams have an odd of plus 10,000 for San Francisco, Cleveland Browns, and I figured, what the hell, I'll just bet those two teams to sort of hedge my bets a little bit in case they do win, which obviously they're long odds. But because I only have to bet $200 to win $2 to win $200, I included them in there. And I thought it was worth it for the $6. You might not think it's worth it, in which case you might eliminate the Cleveland Browns, for example. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually seem pretty good. But overall, you'll notice I am betting $236, and it says here that my total win possibility is $4,000. Basically $3,400, which I obviously know that can't happen. The real total win that I can have maximum is $300 or $200. So if it's $200, I would have lost $36. Now if I win the $300, if my other four teams that I've chosen to win actually do win, I'll win $64. So you'll notice here, what I'm doing is I am placing enough bets to cover my losses, but also to win small. And by winning small, but guaranteeing, so I picked 15 teams out of the 32 teams, which basically mean that nearly 50% of the teams that I've chosen, can possibly win. I've picked 15 teams out of 32 teams already, and you might question the teams that I've picked. So if you have different teams that you think you may win but probably won't, you might choose different teams than I have. For example, I chose the New York Giants because I always felt like Eli Manning, there's always that threat of him, getting on fire in the playoffs and just winning, if they even get into the playoffs. And also, if you look at, the list of Super Bowl winners, typically they're teams that have a moderate defense or a great defense, or they have a half decent or more than decent big name quarterback. So, the worst quarterback you have here is, Eli Manning here, and Joe Flacco here. So you see a pattern here of just some of the teams that actually win. So Miami Dolphins or LA Rams or even Chicago Bears just have no chance, and Jacksonville Jaguars have no chance. So you're going to choose whatever team you think actually has a chance. You might choose different teams than me, but the strategy will be the same in that you choose a handful of teams that you think will win, and then another one that makes up the 50% of the teams you're going to be betting on to cover your losses, which is what I've done here. So, I hope this strategy was clear to you, and once again, the maximum I will win on this is basically $64 because I've spent $236 on these various bets basically to cover my losses. But on the other hand, I've also chosen nearly 50% of all the teams that can possibly win Super Bowl 51. So by doing that, this is how I've been growing my account from $150 to nearly $700 just by placing a lot of these type of bets and doing it slowly. And luckily for me, I don't think I've actually lost in using this type of strategy, in that it has always produced a winner. But that's really it. That's really what I wanted to go over as to how you might want to hedge your bets this way. Now, I do want to go over. So, for example, you might wonder exactly why I didn't bet. So if I wanted to guarantee that for 15 of these teams I will in fact win $300, So let's do that. Let's go through that example that I'll pick 15 teams, and if either one of those 15 teams win, I will get $300. So, for example, I might bet here $24 or $25, and this will also be $25. Just $25 here, and this will likely be around $22, or actually it's less, $19. And this will be another $19 or $17. And this will be, so keep in mind what I'm trying to do here. So if you want to use this other strategy, which is I want to win a maximum of $300 no matter what, betting 15 teams, you could also do that. And I'll show you the results of what you can possibly win when you use that strategy. So this is about $12 here, and this here is probably $15, a little bit more, $17, and this here is probably $10, $12. So you'll notice I'm spending now a lot more than I really want to get to this dollar amount here of $300. But I am, on the other hand, picking 15 teams. So you'll notice when I do that, I am basically spending $285 to win $300, which is that I'll guarantee that I'll win $15 if either one of the 15 teams win. So that is another possibility that you can try. Now this might seem low in that you are picking 15 teams, and you're guaranteed to win $15 if one of the 15 teams win. But keep in mind that sometimes the odds work in your favor. So I believe it was last year or even 2 months ago where these odds came out, and the odds were a little bit more favorable in that if I bet 15 teams, I probably, if I recall, I probably would have been able to guarantee that I win $40 or $50 if I bet, or if I targeted $300 as my target win amount. So it really all depends on what the odds are that will cause this maximum amount that you're winning to actually become fruitful. So in any case, that is a strategy that you can use. Obviously, you'll pick different teams, and you'll be able to sort of use the same type of idea in whatever strategy you want to mix into this. And but that is how I've been able to do it. And I hope this helps. And thank you for watching.